This live martial arts lesson, a fast martial arts weapons lesson, you're gonna be working with your Japanese bow or your other martial arts long staff. Start with this easy warm up from hand to hand. Start in just one hand first. Let's do that. Get a little bit more stretch in that wrist and the elbow. That's what I need today. So we're gonna go a little bit more of a stretch. Just had to run out back. It's a big truck that goes around back every once in a while. And he rips the cable out of the building, and I lose internet. I just heard him go by, so I just bring him back in from that. Anyway, so we're working with a bow staff. You're twisting one hand, 30 seconds. You want to get this full range of motion, as much twist as you can get more flexibility in the joints, but also more strength for when you use this for self-defense, for fighting. Now go from one hand here to the other hand, just kind of back and forth, twisting out, and you'll feel it depending on how heavy your staff is. This is how you get a lot of speed in spinning. It's also how you get a lot more power in your hands for the strikes when it comes to self-defense. So one side to the other side, 30 seconds here, and then start to go around in this basic overhand spin. And what you're gonna do, this is my right hand. When it comes up, my left hand is just on top, takes it. The right hand stays close. There's that butterfly motion, sometimes called an overhand butterfly spin. I want you to be able to do this today in front of your body, but then also be able to just lift it up. I'll squat a little bit. So you can see just over your head, so you can start to go behind the back, over the head, behind the back, and do some new techniques if you haven't done those yet. Just spinning to the front, to the back, side to side, all the way around your body. Slow it down just a little bit if you didn't see it. Good morning. It's good to see you. Stop that, push it back the other way. Victor, did you get your package yet? Turning. Not sure how fast the shipping is from here to Canada. From here it turns, this hand's here, takes it. Just warming up. Now, before we get into the figure eight spins or the infinity spins, I want to go out to the side again and go behind the back, just pull it out with the other hand. And I do this early in this workout for my shoulders. So sometimes my shoulders get tight and I need to stretch them. Bringing it behind your back is a good way to stretch them. And what I'm doing from here is I grab it under, pull it out, bring it back, pull it out. And then I'm going to add the overhead spin so I can also stretch my shoulders overhead. So I use my workout to heal the shoulders, get my body stronger. I'm not just working out to work out. It's important to learn how to use your tools, martial arts tools especially, keep your body strong. From one side to the other side, and then I'm just gonna reverse it. When you go over your head, you're just lifting your hand straight up over your head. I'm gonna have to go on a knee, the camera's too low today. So from here, just over your head, and when you turn it, your palm is facing away from you. The other hand comes up and grabs it and pulls it out. Good. Just comes in, comes out. From one side to the other side, just over your head, you'll feel it start to stretch in your shoulders a little. You're also going to get stronger hands. A little tip, if you ever feel down, low emotionally, getting your hands over your head brings that energy up. It's because of a chemical response in your brain. So you might be feeling a little low. There's a lot of stress lately. World's a little crazy. If you start to do the spin behind your back and over your head, motion changes the motion, you're immediately going to start to feel a little bit better. Prove me wrong. Try it and see if I'm not right. Bring it up and back. And I'd say maybe it doesn't work for everybody, but it's worked for everybody I know. Behind your back, over your head. And again, I just threw that in there to break up the training a little bit, get my shoulders moving this morning. Now, left hand, left foot forward, figure eight motion to one side and to the other side. One of the questions you've asked me a lot recently is, my spin, you say my spin's not as close, or you say your spin is not as smooth as my spin. What do you think's going on? And then I ask, well, how many times have you done it? Well, it's my first training session, or I've been doing it for 2 weeks. And that's the answer, right? And that's not a flippant answer, and it's not supposed to be a dismissive answer either. But be patient with yourself. Put the other hand here. Give yourself more time. Give yourself less criticism. And if you can get all the criticism out of it, that's the best. There's no reason to criticize yourself. The way you talk to yourself is the way you talk to other people. Stop criticizing yourself. Doesn't help. If I stood here, I'm your teacher, and I'm yelling at you, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing it like that? Is that the best you've got? Would you wake up this morning, come in here, try to make me mad because you can't spit? I don't know, whatever, right? But you do that to yourself inside your head. Oh man, I can't get it. I'm never going to get it. This is frustrating. When the words come out of your mouth like that, and they're in here, it's not going to make you a better student. It doesn't make you spin better. That's why I don't say it to you. I don't say it to myself either. Words are powerful, right? So watch what you're saying to yourself. If you need to say anything, say, you know what, you keep spinning like that, you're going to be better than that guy on the YouTube. And that's the truth. Now go to the front of your body and to your back of your body right here. One. That's why I always find it funny when people make silly comments or negative comments. It's habitual for so many people. They're just so used to doing it, right? But it also shows what's going on inside their head. If you need to criticize a total stranger, what are you saying to yourself? I don't think it's that great, right? All right, front and back. Now, to increase your speed, stomach up and in, abs tight, go a little bit faster. Yes, I will do that. I'll do that today. Since I have 2 little kids at home, I kind of limit how much time I spend on any device. I'm going to spend all that time pouring into my kids and not reading what other people are doing. Not that that's how everybody uses it, but I find it's really easy to go down these rabbit holes of what people think and say and do. And so I try to spend that time being present in the moment. And I just haven't got to it yet. I had a bunch of lessons this morning, but I'll get there today, Victor, and I'll respond. All right, so to the front and the back, increasing your speed by pulling tight, making small motions in your hips and shoulders. And this is just that front and back. And then go back into your left hand, you're welcome, and transfer to the right, on the right side, back into the left on the left side. Just now going from one hand to the other, starting to work on your freestyle or bow flow, turning your shoulders and your hips, small steps, just spinning forward. I'll just show you a little from the side. Just moving forward a little bit and back. And especially if you don't have a lot of room, this is good. And if you do have a lot of room, take bigger steps and go faster, right? I know that wasn't meant to look funny, but it looked funny to me when I just saw it. But that's good. You want to be able to go fast, go slow, big steps, small steps. Now you're just reversing the spin, pulling into that negative, or not negative, but reversed position. One hand to the next, stepping forward and back. And again, from the side, it looks like this. And then turn your body and go forward. Turn your body and go back. So we kind of skipped into the flow or the freestyle kind of quickly. We warmed up a little different today. Going forward, take a step, and now your hands are spinning in the reverse. Just by turning your body one side, back the other way. And so I'll back up a little bit. If you have a little bit more room, small steps forward, turn around, and now you're in the reverse. Start to turn. Every time you turn, you're going in a different direction. So you can turn one way, turn back the other way, but you keep turning, and your spin keeps changing that direction. You can do that also with just one hand, spinning here. I'll slow it down a little bit. If I step forward and turn, now it's naturally in the reverse. I take a step, turn, it's going forward again. But putting it in one hand and then into the other hand starts to teach you how to go into the flow and turn a little bit better, right? One here, and then back the other way. There's no way to do it wrong, but you have to start to figure it out. So get out of your comfort zone and start to step and turn. Drop it, pick it up, drop it, pick it up. That'll happen a lot. Now, into a wrist roll. Because when you do your bow flow, having a wrist roll gives you a lot more options. You can do that wrist roll. You can turn back the other way. And that wrist roll, turning, wrist roll, going back, wrist roll. So the wrist roll starts here. You're gonna go over the small side of the hand and the big side of the hand, or the pinky finger to the thumb. And once you start to turn it, you let it go. There's a little balancing that happens if you slow it way down. And to slow it down, it's not gonna be easy. It's harder when you go slower, right? Some of you have already figured that out. It's much harder to go slow than it is to go fast. But your brain and your body develop stronger connections when you go slower, and you start to discover things you didn't know were happening when you go too fast. When you go too fast, it's almost like your hands fill in the blind spots that are here. But when you slow it down, you start to really see everything that's happening. And then from there, speed up. Once your foundation is deep and broad, that's when you add speed, complexity, right? More heavier staff. That all comes after you get the big motions. You've taken your time. All right, so some 30 seconds on one hand, 30 seconds on the other hand. It's one side to the other side. Now add that into your flow. So start with a simple figure eight, and then put it in the other hand, start to move forward, start to move back, turn your body around, and again, I'm gonna show you from the side. This is my front, that'll be the back. So start figure eight, start moving, turn around, and now it's in the reverse, simply by you turning. Turn back around, it's going forward again, turn around, and here, or somewhere here, add that wrist roll into your flow. So now, you're not just doing figure eights, you're doing figure eights with wrist rolls and moving and turning and changing the direction of the spin, and then add that finger roll. And you asked me last time about a continuous finger roll, and here it is. Start with your hand closed, turn it down. Turning it down pulls your elbow out. That's how you know you're turning down. And then open the thumb, the first finger. That puts it between those two fingers, goes down and then comes back up. So from here, starts turning down. And see what I do with these three? These three fingers just pull out of the way to the back. So starting here, turn down, 2, 3, let's hit the tripod, back up a little bit, 1. Found the rig that I can wear on my chest, and the camera's here. I'm gonna play with that on the next video, see if that doesn't give you a different perspective to see what it looks like. But you can see already, this continuous finger roll, which is extending, my extensors are firing. That means the muscles that open your hand. This is why it's so important and good for cross training, but you can see how it fires those muscles right there in that forearm, right? You're gonna get a much stronger forearm that stays healthier. But this is the continuous finger roll. The thumb stays out of the way and the fingers do all the work. You're gonna use that continuous finger roll during training, and then when you start your flow, you're gonna go into a 3-finger finger roll, and that's gonna assist, the thumb's gonna assist. So from here, starts the same way, turns down, 2, 3. When it gets to the last 2 fingers, the ring finger and the pinky, the first 3 fingers come flat, and then it's gonna, just like a wrist roll, It's going to go over the back of the wrist. In this case, it's going to go over the back of those 3 fingers. Then the thumb grabs it to get control of it again. Thank you, I appreciate that. So you go 1, 2, 3. It helps a lot, especially when we got done with the coronavirus, just getting opened back up, and then everybody is staying out of this. This general area is close to where there have been a lot of protests. And for the most part, they've been mostly peaceful. But there have been some nights where everybody wants to stay out of the area. So that's affecting business a little bit too. So I appreciate that, Victor. So you go through those 3 fingers, over the back of the fingers into your hand. Now we put it all together. We're talking about bow flow, we're talking about freestyle. We start with 1 foot forward. I'm saying this is the front, that's my back. So you can see me moving this way. And I'm going into a figure 8 first. And then I put it in the other hand and I just kind of walk forward a little. I walk back a little. And then as I'm going forward, I'm going to turn around. And that puts it into the reverse spin. Almost hit myself there. Now the reverse spin, I turn again, practice some turning the other way so you can get used to all that turning, and then we added in a wrist roll. And so now we're doing the figure 8s, we're going hand to hand, wrist roll, I'm turning, I'm adding the wrist roll, and then to that wrist roll or after the wrist roll or between the wrist roll or in the middle of it or wherever makes the most sense, you're going to add your 3 finger roll. You go into your spins and you're spinning. Just a big over the top so I didn't smack the camera again. Break. I don't have any backup tripod, so can't afford to break my camera this morning. But that's proof. If you want to know, do I drop this thing all the time? Do I make mistakes? Way more than most people. That's how I grow. That's how you're going to grow. Mistakes, drop it, pick it up, learn something new. So you want to go hand to hand, small steps, turning, and then, because it's actually easier than all the rest, throw it behind your back, whip it out over your head, and then go back into moving your body. Wrist rolls into some finger rolls, turning behind your back, over your head, and then back into spinning. And now you just leveled up. That simple thing, and it's so simple, it looks complicated, it looks hard, and it will be at first until you try it. But look, I'm starting to go behind my back, I keep it going. So that time I did the finger rolls, and then from over here, I just let it go behind the back, over the head, and now I'm going over here. And so now you can level up, level up, level up. Yeah, so let's go back, let's finish on finger rolls. Let's look at them one more time. This is the middleweight staff, or a little bit heavier, that white oak. There's no flex in it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's easier to spin, but it's like 1 inch, maybe 1/4 diameter. Stay there, I want to show you the other staff. All right, this is that metal combative staff. This is actually heavier than, and still 0 flex. This thing is aluminum. It's a competition bow staff from Combative, kombativ.com. They only ship in the US, I think. So far, I think it's a new company. It's a sister company to another company I'm not allowed to say, I guess. But they don't give me any money. They just send me some stuff. This one is thin. This is like maybe a little bit less. Behind my back with my thumb? Oh, yeah, so I'm showing you that there are 2, excellent question. There are 2 kinds of finger rolls. There's a continuous roll where you go down and then you go back up, and then you go back down, then you go back up. And then there's a 3-finger roll with a thumb assist. So you're right, I did grab with my thumb. And the reason that I do both, and I'll show you with this one, if there's any batteries left, yeah, look at that. It's dim. This is high density or impact resistant PVC. That's what it is. But I like this because it's so thick and their batteries on the end make it kind of like a levered thing, so it goes faster when it spins. So you get this, it's heavy. You get this thing going, but I like this because you can see what it's doing in my forearm. See how my, the muscles in the forearm are starting to really flex? So what happens is your hand either closes or extends. All your muscles either pull or push, right? So this is pulling, that closes, and that's what you do mostly when you spin or you strike or you fight. When you open your hand, that's not something that most people train. I train that because I also do a lot of grip strength training and like bend nails and stuff. So I use rubber bands around my fingers and I open. I put them in the sand and I open, kind of like old school Kung Fu. I was doing the bucket of sand this morning. I've got a video in here somewhere with the sand if you want to see how to do it. Anyway, so the spinning is another extensor training for your hands. So that keeps it strong. But this is jumping rope. This is exercise. If, these out of the way, if I want to do what I did that finger spin here and then I went behind my back, and you're right, you saw it, Vic. See how it went 1, 2, 3, and then right before I go behind my back, my thumb pops out and I take it back into this regular position. I go behind my back, out over my head, and if you want, you can even do the finger roll over your head, back over your back, and then you put it all together. But when you start to do finger roll, wrist roll combinations, over here, you're doing that 3-finger roll. You're doing the second kind. So to practice this 3-finger roll, you start the same. I always like to do continuous first, and then go into a 3-finger roll. 1, 2, 3. Those 3 come together, and the thumb grabs it. And what I was saying before was, you now know how to do this wrist roll over the pinky side. So you can do this when you do that 3-finger roll, and you get to the ring finger and the middle, ring finger and the pinky. Then it goes over, and it's exactly the same as if it were up here on the wrist roll. But the difference is, there it is. The difference is, as it comes around, your thumb then is going to grab it and take it. So from here, 1, 2, 3, back of those 3 fingers, thumb grabs it. And if you want to make that continuous, you just have to go like this. Use the momentum to throw it back into that 3-finger roll. And that's not easy. This is something that took me a long time to get good at. Thankfully, when I did the Taekwondo for all those years and lived in the Taekwondo school for years, and I hung out with all the Korean kids and fighters, it's mostly the kids, but they all, if you have any friends who are Korean, they twirl their pencils like nobody's business. Never seen anything like it. They know how to twirl those pins, snap them around their fingers. And it was those guys who helped me figure out how to twirl better pencils and pins frivolously for no good reason, right? Except it's good for your brain. But then also when it comes to the staff, and then just spending lots of time with it. And that's how you're going to get it. You're just going to spend a lot of time with it. So just from the beginning, just to review as we finish, and it goes from a figure 8, it goes from that endless spin, because you need this momentum when it comes back. It's a forward spin when it comes here. You open the finger and thumb have it, and you push it through all the fingers. When it gets to the very end, the first 3 fingers pop out, and the thumb, you turn the hand. As you turn the hand, it rolls over the back of the fingers, the thumb catches it, and you keep going. Now, this is one of the coolest things. Yeah, just take your time with it. If you get stuck, let me know. One of my favorite things to do is a wrist roll to a wrist roll, and then eventually I'll add the finger roll in to that wrist roll from one side of the body to the other. And this is a forward spin, but this is even cool, or just as cool, you can reverse the spin. And then you can do a reverse wrist roll, and then you can even do that same finger roll. It has to happen over here on the opposite side. There it is. Wrist roll, finger roll. So you can do it both in the forward spin and in the reverse spin. when I see stuff like this, I gotta ask myself, is garlic bread, is the guy like mine? Is he 12 years old? Or is he some older dude in his basement? I don't know. Anyway, it's funny to me. If they do it too much, I mute them when we boot them. But anyway, garlic bread, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming. Practice your wrist rolls. Practice all of that bow flow. So you're coming in, you're coming out, and then, yeah, I know you were looking for the cooking stream. Yeah, I get it. I was young and bored and dumb. By the way, if you're bored, it's because you're boring. Whatever you're doing that's making you bored, it's because you're doing it in a boring way. You need to get some excitement, some energy into anything. I don't care what it's doing. If you're cleaning your room, you can do that in a focused way. Get it really clean. Make it look like you are or whatever. Thank you so much, David. And then there's no way to be bored. That's the rule for the rest of your life. If you're a young person or an old person, doesn't matter. If you're bored, it's because you're boring. Whatever you're doing it in a boring way. And life is too short, even when you're little, and you don't realize that you still have like 100 years in front of you. Don't waste any time being bored. You have 100% control. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much. I think the next one we're doing today is cane. I got to do a cane because people keep asking me for specific things during this time.